Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Parkside Cabin Rentals. You know how to make a special event more special? You upgrade the location of that event. I mean, you can book a hotel room, that's great. But if you're going to the Smoky Mountains this spring or this summer, why not get your own place where you pick the amenities that you want? You can do that. You can pick the cabin that you want at ParksideCabinRentals.com. They've got all their layouts right there on their website. You can get the locations. You can see photos of the places. Like, that's the one. That speaks to me. I need one with 3 bedrooms. I need one with a pool table. I need one with jacuzzi. I need one with a creek view. Just plop in your choices. Boom, they pop up. ParksideCabinRentals.com. Check them out today. All right. Let me tell you what our poll question is for today. We're going to get you involved here. Take your smartphone out and click on that little QR code there, and you can tell us how you feel about this. Also, you can go to sportsource.tv/polls and vote there. But we talked a couple weeks ago on radio about the Final Four and Tennessee's Final Four chances and Final Four. And somebody got me on Twitter and said, why are you talking about that? The SEC regular season championship is what everybody's after. I'm like, no, I think they're after the Final Four. And there was a little back and forth, so I thought, well, let's just put it to the test. What matters most to you this season? SEC regular season title, SEC tournament title, which I can't believe anybody voted for that, or a deep NCAA tournament run? I have a feeling this is going to remain a rout. But if you agree with the other person who's like, nope, you get to hang a banner and we'll be talking about championships forever and that's more important than a tournament run, go ahead and vote it. Let us know your thoughts. All right. Let's take a look here. Top seed, these are the top 16 teams that were seeded yesterday. These are their bench minutes for the year. And they are ranked, Auburn is 5th in the country. Out of 360 teams, they rank 5th. 44% of their time comes from the bench. Houston, Alabama, Illinois, UConn, Purdue, Marquette, Iowa State, San Diego State, Duke, Baylor, Arizona. There's Tennessee. And this is typical. This is Rick Barnes typically gets a smaller rotation and doesn't give a ton of minutes to his bench. We do this every year. Tennessee, ahead of 3 of those schools, Wisconsin, North Carolina, Kansas. But again, out of 360 schools, Tennessee ranks 294th in terms of bench minutes. 25% of their team minutes come off the bench. And let's look at the players specifically. Here's the way that breaks down. And this does not count last night's minutes. But going into that game, Ziegler, Connect, James, Vescovy, Adu, Gainey, and Meshack all had more than 400 minutes. Awaka, 281, and then the other 4 guys, they're less. All others under 5 minutes on the year. My question, Will West. You said in the first segment, you like what they did last night. Should they be doing more of that? And if so, with whom? Who should be getting more minutes?
Absolutely. They have to do more of that. I think it should be Awaka. I don't mind an 8-man rotation. I think you could give Awaka more minutes, but you also need to have someone that's going to be the backup plan for Zakai Ziegler. A guy that defends as hard as he does, at some point in time during a tournament game, he's going to get in foul trouble. So what's the plan from there? When Adu gets in foul trouble, we've seen for the Mississippi State game, other games, it doesn't go well for Tennessee. So at the end of the day, to me, it's less about who in minutes, although it is who in minutes. It's more about when Adu gets in foul trouble because it's going to happen, when Ziegler gets in foul trouble because it's going to happen. What is the backup plan? You got to have some level of risk mitigation there in my mind if you're Barnes.
Chuck, I always say we put this number up every year, some number like it, where I go and do this, and you look at Rick Barnes' track record in the tournament, it's not great. It's not like he's horrible. It's not great. There are a lot of times he comes in under what people expect. But I think there may be a correlation. You wear your guys out. They wear down toward the end of the year. Just a theory. Could be wrong. Should they be playing more of their bench guys? And if so, who?
Well, I tell you what, as much talent as this team has, you would think, yeah. Of course, you had the luxury yesterday of such the big lead. If you didn't put them in then, I started to text you, boy, if he doesn't play some guys now, we got a segment to talk to. I tell you what, I wrote down Cameron Carr. I mean, he's just got something in it. I know he's going to have to play good defense, but he just kind of glides out there. He's 6'5" and a guard. Also, DeLeon. I'm going to get him more minutes, guys. I've been saying that with Estrella.
Estrella's had some good.
But Estrella now, if the folks at home don't know, he's been dealing with some lower leg issues, or there's been something going on there. But those 3 guys, when they come out there, it's like they look like SEC players. They look like they can help you win ball games, but you got to find a way to get them in without And look, and you're talking about Ziegler. Look how hard he works on defense. He may be the defensive player of the year. He's working on both ends of the court. You got to get him some time off.
Yeah. My issue was last week when he plays a full game in a game you lose by 16 at A&M. It's like, to me, that's give him a rest at some point. But on the other side, you're the sixth best team in the country according to the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee. You're neck and neck with the leader in the SEC right now for the regular season title. Do they need to be playing more bench minutes?
But as your poll is going to show, it's about the NCAA tournament run, and that's what we got to keep in mind. It's about the marathon, not the sprint. And so I do think you got to be playing guys more minutes. To me, the guy that fits the Barnes mold, that has had minutes deteriorate over the last probably 3 weeks, is Meshack.
Yeah.
I think he's a guy that at times he was playing some backup point guard. If it's not going to be Vescovi, I think it's got to be Meshack because he fits the Barnes mold. Carr, they're super high on Carr. They think Carr is going to be an NBA talent by the time he's done in 2 or 3 years. But him and DeLeon, they don't play defense. They turn the basketball over. They're not tough being able to get through screens. And so they're not at Barnes' level on that defensive end. And you've seen a couple times when DeLeon's been in, guys are coming off floppy screens, down screens, and the deliverance of the pass is just late. He's not there yet. Now, you could say, well, maybe it's because he's not getting the playing time, but he's practicing every day against these guys. So he should be there, especially if it's one of the better defensive teams in the country. That should correlate to the game. It's not. So for me, Meshack and Awaka are the two guys that should be getting a little bit more minutes.
Let me ask you this, and look, everybody's a flight risk in the current transfer portal era, but are you creating more flight risks with some of these guys by not giving them more minutes than the minutes we showed a few seconds ago?
I think it's less in basketball than it is in football because in basketball,
there's not
you
as much
can go
money
get
thrown away for one.
That and a guy can immediately impact a team as quickly as possible. I don't think anybody's looking at Freddie DeLeon and saying he's going to impact my team and it's a difference maker next year. So they can go get a mid-major guy that averaged 16 a game for the same money NIL-wise that they would offer DeLeon. So I don't think it's as big of a risk. But we did see Tennessee lose a backup point guard during the offseason to SMU because he wasn't getting playing time.
And you're going to have some spots open up next season, right? I mean, that's why I would be able to
Actually,
stay
Josiah
on.
Jordan-James and Santiago Vescovi are planning to come back again. So they've appealed.
See, there were 1,000 players that entered the portal in basketball last year. So that's 1,000 players. But I think these guys know that you bide your time, you're a freshman, and then it's your turn to make the most of it.
Mark, should they be worrying about that as a coaching staff?
No, because of the transfer portal. I mean, I talked to Forbes at Wake Forest earlier last week, and he talked about they've had 2 ACC players of the year that were in the transfer portal that they got. And now people are starting to pursue them as potential places to transfer, like a Connect, because they've had success with it. So if you have success in the portal, you're going to be attracting guys that have had success at the college level that now can come play, as opposed to a DeLeon and a Carr. They think they look really good, but it's not translated to when the lights come on. And in the portal, you can go get those guys.
Well, you can, but let's remember, Dalton Connect is one of how many that they've brought in, and he's the first one to really take off. I mean, Victor Bailey was supposed to be spectacular.
Key last year?
Yes, Key from Indiana State. You had Anasicki's brother came in here. So, and they've gone and gotten some of these mid-major guys before, and it hasn't paid off. So that's questionable. All right. When we come back, let's deep dive into some UT basketball numbers. How are the Vols at the rim? How do their home stats match their road stats, match their quad one stats? Much more. And what's their record going to be over the last 6 games? Come on back on the Sports Source.